On World News tonight, the Germans have arrested a couple accused of planning an anniversary attack on the United States. The Congress meets in New York City for the first time in 200 years to honor those who died and struggled a year ago. 1 year later, the air traffic controllers who watched it happen and were helpless to stop it. The children found guilty of murder, and the man who wasn't. And 6,000 photographs, tragedy from every angle, a democracy of pictures.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We're going to begin with Germany tonight because a terrorist attack on a U.S. Army base there appears to have been thwarted. German police have arrested a young couple. They're accused of plotting a September anniversary attack against Americans. They had a lot of explosives, and for whatever it means, they had a picture of Osama bin Laden on the wall. ABC's Pierre Thomas is in Washington with what went on in Germany and the U.S. interpretation. Pierre?
Peter, German police believe a Turkish man and his fiancée were planning to bomb U.S. Army headquarters near Heidelberg. There are nearly 42,000 U.S. military and civilians assigned to that base.
A German official said the suspects, who were not identified, appeared to be followers of Osama bin Laden, who hated Americans and Jews. Police confiscated 5 pipe bombs and nearly 300 pounds of explosive chemicals, including nitrates and fertilizer, similar to that used in the Oklahoma City attack. The woman, a U.S. citizen, works at the PX on the Heidelberg Army base. At the couple's home, German officials discovered documents about the plot, a book about building bombs, and pictures of Osama bin Laden.
They've certainly disrupted an operation here, whether connected or not, and the challenge now is to find out, are there others out there?
Sources tell ABC News the Turkish man may be a chemist and had a passport showing he had recently been in the U.S. U.S. officials are very concerned about the possibility of another attack.
It's a tense time. There's no question about it. However, unlike a lot of terrorist organizations, this one doesn't necessarily strike on anniversaries.
German police are attempting to question the suspects who are not cooperating. The U.S. government is now launching an international investigation into their backgrounds. Peter?
Thank you, Pierre. Pierre Thomas at the Justice Department in Washington. As Pierre knows, there's been another mistake in the government's case against Zacarias Moussaoui, the man the government accuses of being the 20th hijacker. ABC's Jackie Judd has learned the Justice Department mistakenly gave Mr. Moussaoui classified documents pertaining to Al-Qaeda. Mr. Moussaoui is representing himself in court, and he got the documents as part of the mandatory discovery process in any criminal case. The government is not sure if he read them. In Afghanistan today, President Hamid Karzai said that yesterday's attempt on his life was not a sign that his country is descending into chaos. The president narrowly escaped death in the city of Kandahar. It was an extraordinary scene, and there was a cameraman present. ABC's David Wright reports from there.
President Karzai gave a thumbs up as he landed in Kabul this morning, his way of downplaying a close call with an assassin's bullet.
I'm fine. I expect things like that to come across the way.
How does it feel?
I've been through it before.
But he had never been through anything like this before. A young man leans in to greet Karzai as the first shots are fired behind him. Karzai's American bodyguards fire back before they're even out of the car. The gunman dead, Karzai's motorcade presses on. Bullet holes in Karzai's window and headrest show how narrowly he escaped. Afghan officials said today the assassin was hired as a security guard in Kandahar less than a week ago. Today, authorities detained 17 more guards in Kandahar, concerned there may be more conspirators, not sure who they can trust. Karzai's rivals have ridiculed him for using American bodyguards, and politically, it's a tricky issue. Too much international security, and he appears to be a puppet. Too little, and he could be vulnerable. Today, Karzai made a point of thanking an Afghan well-wisher, not the Americans, for saving his life.
If you watch the film closely, it's actually that young man who comes to greet me the last minute that hears the firing, and then he moves towards the gunman and forces him down. That's the man that has actually saved my life.
The well-wisher was one of the 3 men shot dead in the melee. David Wright, ABC News, Kabul.
The Bush administration said today it is sending high-level delegations to China, Russia, and France as part of its effort to convince those governments that Saddam Hussein of Iraq must go. Mr. Bush spoke today with the leaders of the three countries, whose support, as he knows well, is very uncertain. ABC's Terry Moran is with us from the White House. How convincing was the president, Terry?
Well, Peter, that remains to be seen. The president spent 30 minutes, a total of 30 minutes on the phone with each of the three leaders, each of whom he knows can cast a veto at the UN Security Council on any resolution on Iraq, and each of whom he knows has been very skeptical of his talk of war. At 7:15 this morning, the president started his round of telephone diplomacy, first calling French President Chirac, then Russian President Putin, and finally Chinese President Zhang.
The purpose of the call was to begin this process of collaboration to do exactly what the world would expect and exactly what the world deserves.
Mr. Bush does not seem to have made much headway. The Russian news agency TASS reported that Putin told the president he had considerable doubts about the necessity of using force against Iraq and warned it could threaten the integrity of the anti-terrorist coalition. President Chirac's spokeswoman said he had told Mr. Bush the UN Security Council should decide on whether military force should be used. There was no word out of Beijing on how the Zhang call went. But British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who will meet with Mr. Bush tomorrow in Camp David, once again struck a note of solidarity with Americans.
They need to know you're prepared to commit. You're prepared to be there. And when the shooting starts, you're prepared to be there.
But many leaders and members of Congress say there is still no hard, new evidence of the Iraqi threat. Weapons inspectors are now relying on commercial satellite photos like these, some of which reveal new construction at sites linked in the past to Baghdad's weapons programs. But U.S. and UN officials disagreed sharply about the significance of those photographs. Ari Fleischer said that they were deeply, deeply troubling. But international weapons inspectors, Peter, said there's no way of knowing what's really going on in Iraq without a return of weapons inspectors.
Thanks, Terry. Terry Moran at the White House. In the overseas briefing tonight, speaking of Iraq, crude oil prices rose sharply today after a week's talk of war with Saddam Hussein. In New York today, the price of sweet crude oil rose 63 cents to close at $29.61 a barrel. China has acknowledged officially for the first time it is facing an AIDS crisis. Today, the government said the number of people with the AIDS virus will reach 1 million this year. International health officials say 20 million people in China may have AIDS by the end of the decade. In New York City today, many members of the Congress, both the House and the Senate, gathered at Federal Hall to gather those who died here in New York last September. Federal Hall is where Congress met more than 2 centuries ago, among other things, to watch George Washington's inauguration as the nation's first president. Today, a very moving agenda. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
There was pageantry, solemnity, and solidarity.
What happened on September 11th did not diminish our strength. It renewed it.
More than 300 members of Congress came to honor this city and its victims. The event took place just blocks from where the World Trade Center towers once stood, here at Federal Hall, where the first Congress convened. This is also where the first president was sworn in and where the Bill of Rights was ratified. In a legislative body designed for debate, the speeches today signal that in this war on terror, there is fundamental unity.
In this great and faithful struggle, there are no Republicans. There are no Democrats. There are only Americans.
There were also hints of future battles.
As a nation born in revolution, we know that our freedom came at a very high price. We have no intention now of letting it slip away.
Mostly, though, the focus was on those who died on that day.
Names written in the pale sky.
The nation's poet laureate read his tribute to the victims, called The Names.
So many names, there is barely room on the walls of the heart.
The hour-long session was mostly symbolism, but clearly many who came felt it was symbolism with substance and purpose. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.
When we come back this evening, the children guilty of murder. In other news tonight, the helpless witnesses, the air traffic controllers who could do nothing but watch. We'll take a closer look.
They were blips, and now they were human lives.
And at the end of the broadcast tonight, a democracy of photographs. Now the whole world is sharing them.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Cheerios.
Daddy?
Hey,
Why are you eating my Cheerios?
they help lower Daddy's cholesterol. They're good for Daddy's heart.
Ah.
Whole grain oat Cheerios is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to help lower cholesterol in a low-fat diet.
It's a cholesterol thing.
For his reunion party, his old tux still fit, but his old dandruff shampoo couldn't handle black, so I bought him Selsun Blue Moisturizing Shampoo. Doctor recommended with aloe and moisturizers for healthy hair and scalp.
Hey, man, you're looking great.
Never wear black without the blue. Selsun Blue.
What some people will do for the scent of laundry dried in a clean breeze. Introducing Tide Clean Breeze. The same clean scent without the commute.
I am one of the many people.
We used to think they're frequent, persistent heartburn.
It's just plain old heartburn.
But if you've treated your heartburn, changed your diet, and the pain still comes back 2 or more days a week, it could be from acid reflux disease.
And over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus. I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Today, there's a purple pill called Nexium from the makers of Prilosec. For many people, 1 prescription Nexium a day means complete
24-hour.
Day and night heartburn relief.
And Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can tell if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and a free trial offer for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
In Florida today, 2 young brothers were found guilty of murdering their father. The teenagers were tried as adults, and they were not the only ones who were actually standing trial for the crime. With today's results, ABC's Jeffrey Kaufman.
It took the jury 5 hours to reach a verdict. First for 14-year-old Derek King, accused of swinging the bat to kill his father.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment. Guilty of second-degree murder.
And then 13-year-old Alex King. Prosecutors say the murder was his idea.
Guilty of second-degree murder.
The boys had both confessed to the crime and then later recanted, blaming this man, Rick Chavez, who was in the same court just over an hour later, with the same judge and prosecutor but a different jury. Chavez, a family friend, was also accused of single-handedly swinging the bat to kill Terry King.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment. Not guilty.
It wasn't just the age of the young King brothers that made this a controversial trial. It was the use of a rare strategy by prosecutor David Rimmer, holding 2 trials for the same crime.
If I had not brought first-degree murder charges against Chavez by taking the boys to the grand jury and letting them tell their story, what do you think people would be saying now?
But some legal experts accuse Rimmer of playing chess with the criminal justice system.
These cases, which seem to be driven by a lust for convictions, rather than a commitment to ethical prosecution, are deeply troubling and damaging.
Damaging to the credibility of the justice system. This verdict will be appealed. The King brothers face 22 years to life in prison, but the judge does have some discretion. In extraordinary circumstances, which can include the boy's age, he can impose a much lower sentence. Jeffrey Kaufman, ABC News, Miami.
Organized crime is in the national briefing tonight. Sammy the Bull Gravano, famous for testifying against his mafia bosses, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for selling ecstasy in Arizona. The judge said that Mr. Gravano, who was at one point in the witness protection program, showed no remorse for a life of crime. And in Providence, Rhode Island, the mayor, Buddy Cianci, has been given 5 years in prison for taking kickbacks. He has been accused of corruption for years, and for years he has been reelected. When we continue this evening, the men and women who were supposed to control the planes on September the 11th, you can imagine they are haunted by their memories, and we'll take a closer look.
Realtors help you buy and sell real estate, but helping build communities is what they do best. Like Oralee Brown from California. 15 years ago, she made a promise and kept it.
I told them to just stay in school, and I would pay their way to college.
Across the country, realtors are making their communities a better place to live. That includes Charlie Ockler, who volunteers as a basketball coach. Realtors adhere to a code of ethics. It's these values that help them live up to an even higher standard.
Looking for a snack that's low in fat but still high in taste? Orville Redenbacher's Smart Pop is 94% fat-free, 100% delicious. Pick up some Orville Redenbachers today and start popping smart.
Here, kitty, kitty, watch the birdie. Oh, look at this. Why would Windex make a wipe? Because they're the quick, easy way to shine just about anything. Are you making that up?
Introducing new Windex wipes. For a streak-free shine, no leading wipe can touch.
New Windex wipes shine just about anything, especially glass. This is too easy.
Reach for new Windex wipes, the wipe that shines. S.C. Johnson and Family Company.
You know when you're not feeling like yourself. You're tired all the time. You may feel sad, hopeless, and lose interest in things you once loved. You may feel anxious, can't even sleep. Your daily activities and relationships suffer. You know when you just don't feel right. Now here's something you may not know. These are some symptoms of depression, a serious medical condition affecting over 20 million Americans. While the cause is unknown, depression may be related to an imbalance of naturally occurring chemicals between nerve cells in the brain. Zoloft, a prescription medicine, works to correct this imbalance. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right. Only your doctor can diagnose depression. Zoloft is not for everyone. People taking medicines called MAOI shouldn't take Zoloft. Side effects may include dry mouth, insomnia, sexual side effects, diarrhea, nausea, and sleepiness. Zoloft is not habit-forming. Talk to your doctor about Zoloft, the #1 prescribed brand of its kind. Zoloft. When you know more about what's wrong, you can help make it right.
Whiskas knows how to get your cat's attention. New Whiskas Tender Bites, tiny morsels lightly coated in gravy. They're the smaller bites with a big taste. New Tender Bites from Whiskas.
A rare Sunday interview with First Lady Laura Bush. 1 year after 9/11, how has life changed? Plus, war with Iraq. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs weighs in. This week, Sunday.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at a group of people who were aware that the planes had been hijacked on September 11th before any of the rest of us were. They were powerless to do anything about it. They're the air traffic controllers who watched this tragedy unfold on their screens. ABC's Brian Ross is with us tonight and has been talking to them. I know how troubled they are.
Indeed, Peter. It was the nation's air traffic controllers who were the first to realize the hijackers had mounted a coordinated attack on the country. And it left deep scars on people whose job requires always being in control. Controllers at the Boston Center knew American Flight 11 had been hijacked and tracked it for 30 minutes as it headed for New York.
I basically watched the target of American 11 the whole way down.
And when the TV pictures from the World Trade Center came on, Boston controller Mark Hodgkins knew exactly what had happened to American 11.
After the whole day, when I'm driving home and I'm thinking about it in the car, I just broke down and cried.
It was a controller in Cleveland who first heard the screams from the cockpit of United 93 and tried repeatedly, more than 20 times, to contact it.
United 93, United 93, do you hear Cleveland?
Controllers have to be tough, and John Worth stayed on duty through a second shift in Cleveland that day and has not missed a day of work since. For others, it was harder. Washington controller Danielle O'Brien handled American 77 on takeoff from Dulles Airport, knew what had happened in New York, and then watched as her flight headed back at full speed toward the Pentagon.
I'll see it for the rest of my life. I'll hear it for the rest of my life.
It's on everyone's mind this week in Cleveland at the first convention of the Air Traffic Controllers Union since the hijackings.
We surely weren't trained for this. We didn't expect this. You know, controllers that day were uniquely wounded
Brad Troy is a controller and part of the union's team that helps to counsel other controllers, some 1,500 since September 11th.
There's a lot of second guessing. Could we have done better? How could we have prevented this?
But no controller has had it worse than 20-year veteran Doug McKay, who worked at the Boston Center.
Could never see myself sitting in front of a radar scope again. I don't believe I have the concentration or even probably the courage to even try to sit down there again and try to do it.
McKay's wife, Susan, had left Boston that morning on a business trip to Los Angeles on American Flight 11. McKay had no idea his wife's flight was anywhere near New York until he got to work.
And at the front door of the center was a supervisor and two controllers from my area. And the supervisor asked me what flight Susan was on. In that instant, it's just like someone hit you in the stomach, you know, it's just unbelievable feeling.
Doug McKay was a few years away from retirement, and his fellow controllers transferred their own vacation and leave time so he could retire early to raise his two children and do something other than control airplanes.
And I'd have to start some new life, which I don't know what it's going to be yet.
In every respect, the country's air traffic controllers rose to the challenges of September 11th, cool under pressure, getting the airspace cleared after the attacks, and taking such good care of those in their ranks, Peter, who were wounded by what happened that day.
Thank you, Brian. As Brian knows, our colleagues at abcnews.com have recreated much of what the air traffic controllers saw on their screens that day. One other item about air travel, ABC News has learned, well, actually it's about security in general, really. ABC News has learned that 24-hour-a-day combat patrols began yesterday over New York and Washington, and they are going to continue until the 12th of September. There are no specific threats, but there is a general concern. Next on the broadcast, the people's pictures, the memories of 9/11, which are now being seen in other parts of the world.
You don't buy half-broken food. Why buy half-broken tortilla chips? More whole chips for more whole dips. Taringo's tortilla chips.
Morning, Joe. New haircut? No. New shoes? No.
Hey, Joe. You been working out?
No.
Hey, Joe. Shave your mustache?
Nope. You sure that's not a new haircut? Yes. Did you just get back from vacation? No. Did you get a promotion? No. Did I? No. No.
What's different? He finally asked his doctor about Viagra. Ready to ask your doctor about Viagra for the first time? Find out if a free sample is right for you. To learn more, visit Viagra.com. Ask your doctor and see the difference.
Staying regular can be an endless cycle of thick powder fiber drinks.
Try a refreshing change. Pure, natural water with FiberCon caplets.
Just as effective as powders and much easier to take.
FiberCon, refreshingly easier to take.
With their incredible power, sleek design, and affordable prices, Gateway's new computers are a great value. But now they're a better value than ever, because right now you can get free shipping with the purchase of select Gateway desktops. Call 1-800-GATEWAY for details.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a heart attack. Then I heard about Plavix, so I asked my doctor. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
He treated her like a princess, you know. I mean, she could do no wrong, none in his eyes.
A close friend of Ward Weaver reveals more about the life of the suspected killer. I'm Paul Lindman, also on K2 News at 6:30. More on a woman hospitalized in Salem with the West Nile virus and the possible migration of the infection to the Northwest. Next.
But did they miss 2 of the 9/11 hijackers? Plus, smuggling materials for dirty bombs into the U.S. How easy was it? And just how safe are we now on World News Tonight?
Just a brief review of our main story tonight. A Turkish man and his American fiancée have been arrested in Germany, accused of plotting to attack a U.S. military installation. Authorities say the couple had pipe bombs and hundreds of pounds of chemicals, and they were planning their attack on or around September the 11th. Finally, this evening from us, collective memory. This is about an exhibit of photographs from the September attacks that stands out from others, not only because of its enormous popularity, but because it accepts at least one photo from anyone who offers. Here's ABC's Bill Blakemore.
It started as this one photo taped up in a Manhattan shop front window. Now, it's more than 6,000 and on exhibition in 21 cities around the world. Photos by everybody. Some by professionals, but most by anyone. By a commodities trader, a student, a management advisor, an artist. All the same size, hung side by side. No names, no captions. It's also a book. It's called A Democracy of Photographs. Each person finds the photo he or she needs.
It was the most painful and scary day of my life, running from the blast and from the collapse, looking at the pictures. It's almost therapeutic.
When the South Tower collapsed, that's the image I saw. I saw the top tip over. That photo was as if it was taken from my eyes.
They help us remember how we tried to connect, how lost we were, how suddenly we were caught, unprepared, and our reactions, astonishment, realization, horror. No one photo has emerged as the icon of the event. People are moved by the great number of pictures, perhaps because it gives you the illusion of being everywhere all at once, or being everyone at once. All of us together, dealing with it. Bill Blakemore, ABC News.
And that is our report on World News Tonight. Later this evening, our primetime series In Search of America continues. Tonight, a small southern city that is struggling with the morals and morality of modern America. We think it's an interesting look at the role of religion in the country today, among other things. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern Time and Pacific Time and 9 Central Time. Our series concludes with 2 hours on Saturday night. We hope you'll join us for one of them, at least. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening, a good weekend. Good night.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC News, now traveling to all 50 states in 50 weeks in search of America.
Here's your quality alert. Tonight, Peter Jennings goes in search of the essence of America. What a network can do when it puts its mind to treating viewers with respect. Excellent TV. Jennings uncovers one gem. In Search of America continues tonight.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, shock and denial. A friend of Ward Weaver tells K2 News why he can't believe someone he calls a friend might be a killer. Plus, it's official. Oregon health officials confirm a woman hospitalized in Salem has the West Nile virus. And it's been stuck on the shore at Kelly Point Park since Monday. And tonight, the dead whale is finally being moved.
Live at 6:30, K2 News with Paul Lindman, Steve Dunn, and exclusive microcast weather with Rob Marciano. K2 and you, the spirit of the Northwest.
Good evening, I'm Paul Lindman.
And I'm Steve Dunn. First on 2 at 6:30 tonight. Lightning sparks a number of brush fires tonight.
Officials have confirmed at least 4 fires burning tonight. The biggest one so far in Yamhill County near Sheridan, just off Highway 18. It's burning about 20 acres of brush and timber. An air tanker and 2 helicopters are working to put it out right